It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randomity with the Random Kristian Show. Today, the Random Kristian Show is interviewing guitarist Kenny Lee Lewis. The Random Kristian Show is brought to you by Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, the unique blended salsa loaded with cilantro and just the right amount of heat. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena is available in stores across Northern California, Colorado, Nevada, and Southern Oregon. To find a store near you, just visit mrsafamous.com. The Random Kristian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by Colonel James Neil Broaddus, composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. The Random Kristian Show can now be seen on the Good Wives Network, TV for women, by women. The Good Wives Network starts streaming soon over on Roku, Android TV, and Amazon TV. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. Next week, the Random Kristian Show is interviewing Matthew Sharp. Or are we interviewing Elvis? You need to tune in to find out. My name is Andy, and now here's your host, Kristian Random.
Oh, 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 yeah, baby. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Oh, karate chop. Yeah. Hey, welcome to it. Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Hey-o, baby.
Hey.
Thank you. All right. It's the Random Kristian Show. I'm Kristian, and he is Andy.
I'm Andy.
And
yes.
Look, I pointed the right way this time.
No, that was good. Yeah. Do you have your little reminder up on the...
No, I don't. That's
wow. That's impressive.
I am very proud of myself for that one.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, for those listening at home, I always point in the wrong direction when...
Ladies and gentlemen, landmark on the Random Kristian Show today, Kristian pointed the correct way.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, very, very excited because Kenny Lee Lewis is back with us, and he's got a lot of things going on that are... he just threw all these things at me.
I know a lot of...
Like today, I was like, oh my gosh. So,
yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about with him. Plus, we're going to try and play a really cool, fun little Name That Tune game with him. And I'm very excited about that. But yes, we are going to have Elvis impersonator extraordinaire, Matthew on. I just by chance met him, and I had no idea that he did this. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, you got a podcast, huh? He's like, well, I'll do a little. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that was good. And then he shows me video of him. I'm like,
right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You want to come on the show? He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of charity things and stuff.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So it was just really cool. He's super fun guy, super nice guy, big heart.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited to get him on. And he does it here locally in the Kansas City area.
That's
so
cool. Yeah.
And like I said, he's actually doing a big Mother's Day benefit charity thing. So okay. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, Andy, how's everything in your world, sir? It's been a couple weeks. I know.
It's been a hot minute, but no, everything's great. Yeah, everything is that we saw the sun one day. Since we've talked, there's a great big ball of fire in the sky. Everybody, what is that? Why is that happening?
Yes.
No, but yeah, everything's good. All is well.
On.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. The winter is finally broken out here in the Midwest, and we are actually starting to as you saw earlier, I'm wearing shorts.
I cannot see anything else again. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was
it's back to shorts weather. And
so bright. It was so bright.
It was worse than having the hat off the head.
Right.
And if you've ever seen the reflection of the sun in a car windshield while you're driving, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is it's a good time. The year is warming up, and we're about to have a lot of fun. Got a lot of good things on the way. Speaking of which, we got Kenny. Kenny Lee Lewis.
Oh,
He is the
man.
guitarist. He plays bass for the Steve Miller Band, and he's got a lot of his own projects and a lot of his own little project bands that he's out there with.
Yeah.
He's written a book. He's teaching a master class. He's got learning videos, and plus, I'm watching his Facebook page, and he is eating some of the most amazing food. And I'm like so jealous. Like places on the Central Coast that I mean, I never even knew existed. Like he showed this bowl of matzo ball soup, which I absolutely like. It's in one of the things, it's like if you're on a desert island. Yeah, matzo ball soup. Yeah.
Awesome.
Matzo ball. And this thing like had the hugest matzo ball. And so anyway, so I want to bring him in here in just a second. What else were we? Oh, I was going to say we are now adding shirts to our little buy a hat or t-shirt. Here it is right there.
Oh,
go to the website if you're interested, because I have to pre-order the sizes.
Okay.
But I will, right now I have some extra larges and a couple of women's. I don't know how well they're going to fit, so I just kind of went with extra larges for both right now, just to see what happens. But anyway, so if you're interested, go to therandomchristianshow.com and or just go to email me, therandomchristianshow@gmail.com, and we will get you set up with a hat or a shirt. And we are getting more stickers. I had a couple people ask me about stickers, so I've got some stickers coming in. If you can Venmo me $1 or so, I'd appreciate it, just to help cover the cost of the printing of the L stickers and the postage. But
support the podcast. We'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, there we go. And speaking of, we made it over our limit finally.
Yes, happy meals all around.
We actually are now a full functioning $10 making podcast.
Incredible. That's amazing.
We've actually made $10.04.
Oh,
so I know it's like a percentage of a penny for every listen.
Still, that's huge.
That's a lot of listening. So thank you all. Thank you all so much. And hope you continue to listen. Spread the word. Like, follow, subscribe, spread it. And so speaking of spreading and doing things right, I want to bring in our guest.
Yes.
My intro music iPod died, so we're just gonna sing. Kenny Lee Lewis, sir, how are you, buddy?
How you guys doing, man? Sounds like you're having fun out there.
Oh yeah, we entertain ourselves quite well, as a matter of fact. Well, welcome back, sir. Thank you so much for taking time. And the whole thing that really inspired this is you're coming out here to Kansas City here in just about a month. Less than a month.
We haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like so excited. We are getting tickets. My wife just got promoted. So now we're like making sure she can get the day off. I'm like, it's your birthday. You gotta go to the show. And so anyway, but yeah, we're trying to get this all coordinated so I can, and yes, I want to, if we can, hopefully get to meet you while you're out there and stuff. I know you're going to be busy and whatnot, but I'd love to do a meet and greet if you do, if you can.
We'll be out in the venue somewhere. We're still kind of doing COVID protocols for the green room. So
yeah,
we're going to get back there, but we'll hang somewhere in the venue.
Right on. Dude, oh man, that's going to be so cool. All right. So yes, you have like a lot of things going on in your life. Like I said, I've been following you on your Facebook page and stuff. It's like you were up in Sacramento hanging out with some friends jamming. And then all of a sudden you're going to NAMM, and then you're at the House of Blues and you're here, you're there. I'm like, oh my. Yeah. I was exhausted.
Never stops.
Yeah.
And right now, I've got a guy digging up my storm drain. We're doing the French drains around the house because during the storms they got all clogged. So I'm doing, and then my gardener's here. He's in a back field right now where all the golfers live. So, I mean, they're out there right now, So I said, look, I got to go do an interview. You guys handle it. I got to go in.
Golfers. Wait. if we kill all the golfers, that'd be against the rules here, wouldn't it?
That's another subject. I got a gopher guy too that keeps them out of my perimeter garden, but I let them have the other half acre to themselves because after all, we're all just guests on this hill.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, so now I know I this got kind of lost in the communique, but we were gonna do a little instead of our random 9 list that we normally do. We wanted to do a little thing with you called Name That Guitar Solo or Guitar Song.
Okay.
And so like it's based off the old game show Name That Tune. And since we don't really, I mean, you and Andy are far more musically inclined than I am, but I figured we could whistle or hum the song or the guitar part.
You're not going to actually play the master recording. You're just going to.
No, yeah. We're gonna do our best vocal interpretation of the defining song melody. It doesn't necessarily need to be the solo. It just needs to be something very indicative of the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just a little fun thing we thought we'd try. And I mean, you being the guitar master that you are.
Well, I've got 3 songs, but you said you wanted me to give you the list of 3 songs if I didn't know the answers, so that wouldn't be good. So, and try to befuddle you whenever you're ready to do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. See. Now the evil plan is coming together. All right. So I guess
I can start. Yeah, I can start with my tune if you want.
I think that would be awesome. And so you give us a little clue maybe, and then me and Kenny can say, well, I'll name it in 5 notes or
no.
whatever.
You know what? I don't know that we need to do like a note thing.
Okay.
I think we give the clue. I'll start playing the tune, and then
Play the song.
Yeah, and then when you get it, you get it. I don't know that we need to go. We don't need to. Yes, you have a question, sir.
Okay, so you are going to play a recording. Okay.
No, not a recording. Just I'm gonna hum it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're pretty low budge here, Kenny.
No, really. But Kristian, I want to get a point of clarification. When was the last time you were a DJ on the radio?
Oh, good Lord. That was late 90s.
Late 90s. Okay. So a lot of my selections are from that era. And you know what? I'm a terrible hummer. So I might just play it.
Oh, okay. So
let me know if you can hear this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay.
Are you asking me?
No, can you hear it, Kenny?
Yes.
Okay. So this band has a very regal sounding name.
I know.
What is it?
Silent Lucidity by Queensryche.
That is correct.
Oh,
Yay! All right.
Done by the Beatles.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Oh, wow. Yeah, it really kind of does.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, a
Here
little
comes
bit.
the sun.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that to you when you're playing me all these other modern songs in the 90s.
Right.
Telling you how we already had them in the 70s, so what's the big deal?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and actually, mine are all a nod to older, more classic.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't do anything after 1980.
Right.
All right, so I will. Yeah, I guess I guess I'll just hum it.
Just hum it. What's the clue though? What's the clue?
Well, it's see, I left all my notes at work, so I had some really good clues, and now I can't remember them, but I know the song.
Just give us the tune, and let's see if Kenny and I can get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll whistle it. I think I can get the tune across better if I whistle.
Okay.
No.
Crickets.
Well, there was a part of it that sounded like Fire by Jimi Hendrix, but then it went away.
No. It kind of leads into my second song, but it's Funk 49 by James Gang.
Oh! Well, I should have known that.
Oh, that was real. Oh.
If I so be.
I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only am I just a drummer, I'm totally whistling combined. I've got rhythm. I have no tunes. So there we go.
Okay, that's a great song. I actually played that with Ginger Baker once.
Oh, really?
My gosh!
Wow!
Oh, dude, that's awesome! Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay, well now I really suck. Okay, well.
Couldn't hit that one, you know.
Yeah.
See, that would have been the melody of the vocal, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, Kenny, since I totally screwed that one up, why don't we go with one of yours?
Okay. This is easy. Ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do 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 do.
Oh, that's yeah.
Fly Like an Eagle.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so I want to test to see how good you guys are. Now it'll get more difficult.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Is it somebody else's turn?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Andy's,
all right.
Andy's turn now.
And I practiced this riff over the weekend just to make sure I didn't screw it up. But I guarantee you, I will screw it up again. I am playing to my strength here. Songs in the 90s. So the hint here is that if fruit couldn't see.
Fruit. Oh, that's a lyrical clue?
No, this is no. I know I'd screwed up. You got it?
So that's a vocal melody.
That is actually the beginning of the guitar riff of the song.
Oh,
Now the lead singer of this band, again,
Shannon.
remember, if fruit couldn't see, the lead singer of this band also duetted with Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses, and Don't Cry.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Blind Melon.
There you go.
Oh
my gosh.
Fruit couldn't see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blind Melon. No rain.
That's right. That's correct. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I
didn't put it together.
All right. Yeah.
Wow. I really
that's me. That's the those were all my college tunes. So
okay, well I will mine is based off of very famous bugs.
Okay.
And I'm gonna screw this up, I know it. Okay. Boom, ba-dum, dum. Oh, now it's 8 Days a Week by the Beatles, and I'm gonna screw it up. So there we go. There we go. Yeah, there. I suck.
Okay.
It's.
Oh, come on, Kristian. Come on, play along with us.
I know, but I
Come on, this is the entertainment industry. You got to be
right. Yeah.
entertaining.
Dun, 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 dun. See, I'm like totally. Yeah, never mind. All right, then my next one's gonna be good though. I know. I got my next one nailed. So
okay.
Do you want
Kenny? Yeah. What do you have another song for us?
Oh, well, I don't have a song. I have a lyric. I just want to see if you can get the lyric.
Oh, all right. Give us a
okay.
lyric. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Speaking of fruit, till the juice runs down my leg.
Oh, the lemon song.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
that's pretty
Nice.
good.
Hey, 5 years in classic rock radio. I know that song.
That's good.
Vegas means my lemon. Sorry.
I guess I should cut that in half.
Just a slice. Just a
Right.
slice. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, there. That one worked. All right, Andy, one more time.
Okay, I know I'm gonna butcher this as well. Okay, so I'm pre-apologizing for me butchering this song, but I'm gonna try to come back to your level just a little bit. Okay, the clue here is that the subject of this song goes by many names. Okay.
Okay. The subject of the song goes by many names. Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Stop. I can't take it. Okay, you're butchering the Joker.
I am butchering the Joker. You're right. Yes, I am absolutely killing the Joker.
By Metallica.
Right. Yeah. I have put my guitar down. My guitar is down. I apologize for that.
The nod. That was great.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's like, stop it. You're
No,
just
please,
making
please,
things
kill it.
horrible.
Well, it's
Take it up.
you know.
All right. So now my next one. You know what? I'm going to do like Kenny did. I'm just going to give you a little bit of the lyrics.
Okay.
There you go.
How about that? All right. So this one, I think the lyrics are going to give it away, but on a dark desert highway.
Okay.
Oh, that's Hotel California.
Eagles.
Yeah.
You know,
There we go. Yeah, that was too easy. Well, there we go. there goes my last shot at any redemption.
There you go. Okay, I got a melody.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's this one. You'll recognize the melody. You have to think about it for a minute.
Okay.
Da 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 da.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. Dire Straits? No.
Yes, that's it.
Sorry. Oh yeah. We do the walk.
Boy, you guys are good.
Walk of life.
Yep,
We
there
do
it
the
is.
walk of dun, dun,
You guys are really good.
dun, 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 dun.
We're nerds.
I can try to play that one too. No, I won't. I promise.
Again.
Yeah. That was a fail.
That was it.
That was a
So
fail.
all right. So
Thank you, Kenny. Thanks for indulging us on that one.
thank you so much for just playing along with us and putting up with us, basically. Really, that was pretty much it. So all right, so Kenny Lee Lewis, here we are. Welcome to the show and welcome back out on tour with the Steve Miller Band. But you have a lot of other little projects going on, Kenny, and I am very desperate to hear about it. Let's start now. You got a book coming out.
Well, the book's been out for a while.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. I am shopping an agent right now with another novel that I've been digging out from the past because I wrote a sequel to the one that's for sale that you're speaking of that's called Skeleton Dolls. That's the one that looks like this.
Aha.
But there's the creature. It's called Children's Tower. It's on Amazon. It's been out there for about 5 years. And I wrote a sequel to it, and I've been trying to shop that, but because it's kind of hard to sell the sequel as a start-alone book, because you can't really sell a book that you've self-published to an agent, because then they can't do anything for you unless it's selling millions on its own. So they want fresh meat. So I've been trying to sell them my sequel, but I need to get them hooked. So I got another one called Sex, Fish, and Rock and Roll. And I fish all the time. And I've got a book that I'm working on now that's a really old book that's kind of like Hemingway meets 50 Shades of Grey. There's the rock and rollers, they fish, they're on the road, they're getting in all kinds of rock and roll shenanigans. There's a lot of explicit sex in it too. So I'm trying to sell right now because during COVID, if you recall, looking at all these series that we've been looking at, these people are screwing in every episode, so I got one of those, and so basically we got new comments. So anyway, that's the one I'm working on right now. Sex, fish, and rock and roll. It's about fly fishing actually, because I fly fish a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm going for an agent, and once I get an agent, then I'll really be able to concentrate more on getting reviews and really pushing this stuff. But this one particular book I just showed you, Skeleton Dolls, Children of the Tower, is doing very well on its own without any promotion or anything, just word of mouth. So if you go on the Amazon site that you guys have on your website, I gave you the link for that.
Yes.
People can read about what it is. They can read the reviews from other people that are on there. And, I got it on paperback and Kindle, and it's great. And I'm trying to become kind of a sci-fi fantasy writer. So this whole thing is interesting. It's about female twins that speak in twin speak. If you Google that, you'll see that that's a real thing. When little kids are, twins, usually identical twins, they speak in their own language when they're really little, and nobody knows what that language is, but they understand it. And it's kind of like tongues in church or something, but it's their own thing. And so I met some twins, and I met their mother, and she started telling me stories about what they were like when they were little. It just made the hair stand up my arms, and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I said, can I run with this as a novel? I'll change the names, but I'll kind of do my own thing. And they went, sure, change the name. So that's what I did.
Oh, that's cool.
The first 10 chapters are actually a true story. So I based the first 10 chapters on exactly what this mother told me these kids were like. And then Stephen King, Dan Brown kind of level, So it's pretty cool. So check that out, all your listeners out there, if you want something to cuddle up to. Skeleton Children of the Tower by Kenny Lee Lewis on Amazon.
Now, was sci-fi writing something you've always wanted to get into, or did this just sort of happen out of getting that story?
It just happened out of getting that story because like I said, this Sex, Fish, and Rock and Roll was written prior to that, which I'm going up because that was a little more of like a, kind of an autobiography meets something that's not real,
right.
It's made up, but it's, it's based on real experiences. Because Hemingway says in his book about writing, he says, write what you know, but don't write too much. Write what you know, but don't write too much.
Yeah.
Just give a little hint.
Yeah, and get rid of the bullshit. That's the other thing. So get rid of that's what the editing process is. And that's right now on this book that I'm selling right now to agents, Sex, Fish, and Rock and Roll. I've edited this thing probably a dozen times, but it's about ready to go now. So hopefully if I get an agent, I'll be able to start dovetailing from live entertainment into possibly being a full-time writer. So we'll see.
Dude,
That's
okay.
great.
Now,
That's so cool.
now the Skeleton Dolls, is it kind of like a horror kind of thing, or is it just more sci-fi-ish?
There is some death and there is some resurrection. That's what's interesting, is that the language that these girls sing in is I suggest is the original language of God prior to the Tower of Babel when it was wrecked. Because if you read the Old Testament, it says that at that time we all spoke the same language, and we could speak directly to God. Like Noah and Abraham and all these people. I mean, Ezekiel, they spoke directly to God. It says that in the Bible. It doesn't say thought came into their head and then they answered telepathically. They actually spoke. And so language was confounded when we built this big giant tower that went up into the clouds. We were trying to be gods ourselves. We were trying to get closer to God. God got mad. He destroyed the tower. But when he did that, he confounded that language. But it was kept the secret within this coven of female, I wouldn't call them witches, but they're definitely interesting characters that they taught to their daughters. So it was a matriarchal line of the same language that Merlin used to make incantations during the time of the formation of Britain, and he was a Welsh, Brythonic, Celtic warrior and leader.
Yeah.
So that language is what is what these twins are using. And they sing too, so there's music involved. So they sing incantations in this special language. They're able to heal people. They're actually able to raise the dead. They're also able to, like when a dog in the book was hit by a car, they were able to sing it to sleep, so it wouldn't be suffering anymore. Things like that. So it's kind of like horror, but it's more spiritual, I'd say. And this little creature on the front here, this guy here, that's Samuel. He's one of the seraphim angels that's mentioned in the Bible. So a lot of this stuff is based on the Old Testament. I didn't write that stuff. I just use it.
Yeah.
Way if any Christian comes after me like blasphemy, I go, well, you wrote it, I didn't.
Right. Yeah.
It's in the book.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of the more interesting stories, I think, are stories that tie back to
biblical times.
I mean, because then it feels like part of the story.
Well,
right?
If you notice Dan Brown, when he does his books, he bases most of the physical and scenery and locations on factual places.
Yeah.
Events from history. And if you that and intertwine that with the novel, it makes the novel more believable. And that's the part of Dan Brown I really like.
Yeah.
And Stephen King, he gets into all the supernatural, weird, freaky deaky stuff. And that's what I like. So I mix the two of those stuff together, and it's fun.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's very cool. And interestingly enough, that's also what you were talking about, the matriarchal society. That's where the term "big bad mama" comes from. So,
you're talking my song?
Yeah, right.
I actually have a song called "Big Fat Mama."
Oh well, I'm big bad fat
mama. Oh, who's that?
I was just referring to the matriarchal society that you were referring to earlier.
Oh, okay, all right. I never heard of that one. I have to look it up.
It's just a term. That's all.
Okay.
I use it pretty much for my mom when she's unhappy with me. So she becomes big bad mama, and then I just yes, mom, right away. So
I've written articles for Smithsonian Native American Magazine, written articles for Guitar Player Magazine and other magazines. And so I have other periodicals that I've done that have been published as well. So I'm also a published writer. I've been paid, and I make money on my books. So I guess I could consider myself a professional writer now, even though I haven't made it big. So that's the idea, is just to get it bigger. And so if I can get an agent to pay attention to my catalog, I have about 12 novels that I've written that are all sitting there ready to be finished and edited. So material, I just need an agent to help unlock it and unleash it and get reviews, of course.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got a loaded gun just ready to go. You just need the right person to get you going there.
Yep.
And okay. So now, and this book is just on Amazon, correct? Or is it?
Yeah, that's for sale on Amazon, along with my jazz guitar CD too that I showed you. That's this one here.
Yes, which I was very intrigued.
But as you can see, this is my other persona here. Jazz persona.
Very nice.
And this is an instrumental jazz guitar album, and that's also for sale on Amazon. So these are two products on Amazon that I'm selling today.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Okay. But now the one thing that really intrigued me was your masterclass. You are now offering to form and mold people into musicians. How did that all come about? Were you just like, yeah, maybe I'll just give it a shot?
Well, during COVID, when we couldn't tour for 2 years, I got into this studio here. In fact, it's a mess right now, but when it's all fixed up, it looks like a set. It's really beautiful. Right now, I've been doing a lot of live gigs, so I've just been dumping stuff in here. But I did a series of things on my YouTube channel. So if you go to Kenny Lee Lewis YouTube channel, there were a lot of free instructionals and interviews and podcasts. I mean, I did live streaming here with my band. I mean, I did a lot of stuff, and I was trying to build a following of people that might be interested in me teaching lessons to them. And, I had a few people that were biting on my classes. I actually have a whole series of master classes that I've yet to put out privately. But what it was, I got hooked up with this company out of Tampa called True Fire. And I'm sure your listeners out there have probably heard of it. Just about every celebrity guitar player in the business now has a master class on there. And they were nice enough to bring me down there. I did one on rhythm guitar. It's called Rhythm Renaissance. If you just go on truefire.com, which is true, TRUESSANCE, FIRE.com. You can look up Rhythm Renaissance Kenny Lee Lewis, and I'm teaching rhythm guitar parts. One of the parts I taught was a rhythm part that I did on the Abracadabra album, the second single that I wrote called Cool Magic, and I teach that part in the masterclass. But if you go to my YouTube channel, I teach you the whole song and how to record the whole song.
Oh, wow.
Track, because I did that for Steve Miller in 1982 when we did the Abracadabra album. So that's just another thing people could get into if they want, but there's a lot of other things on there. Jeff Beck just passed away. I have a Jeff Beck class on there where I talk about his technique and how to do that. They're all original pieces of music that I used, but there's all kinds of stuff on there. So if people go to my YouTube channel, there's free stuff, but if you go to TrueFire and you look up this masterclass I have now, I think it's $30 for access to the masterclass. And I think it's about 90 pieces of music that I teach or something like that. 15 groups or something. But it's pretty cool. And that's international, and that is supported by TrueFire.com.
And now, how long is each one of these classes?
Oh, well, each song and each part that I teach isn't any more than maybe 10 minutes per part. And there's 3 layers to it. And this particular group of songs that I do is I have a bass and a drum groove. And I go, what do we do with the rhythm guitar on this part to make it really shine? And I show maybe 2 or 3 guitar parts to layer on top of that. We layer them, I teach them, then we listen back. And then there's a loop track that once they learn it, they can play along with that track. So each one of those little lessons, probably around 10 to 15 minutes of the lesson, and then you can take as much time as you want jamming along with it. And then you just go on to the next one.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then you can pause it and stuff like that and do your little bit and then come back to it and restart and keep going forward.
Right. And TrueFire right now is doing a thing where if you sign up for a year and have access to all their lessons, which are thousands of lessons, they give you this pedal that you hook up to your computer that you operate with your feet, and you can slow things down, forward. You can loop key stuff and just loop it. I mean, it's really cool. And it comes free when you sign up for 1 year, which I think is only $150. So.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, that's like probably a month's worth of live lessons with somebody. So
easily.
You can take lessons
great value.
Santana and Billy Gibbons and everybody. I mean, Joe Bonamassa, everybody's on there.
That's amazing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so now we're going to have links and just for those listening on the podcast, we've got Kenny Lee Lewis, bassist and guitarist for the Steve Miller Band. Also now an author and a writer, but he's teaching classes on TrueFire.com. And so you can learn all sorts about rhythm guitar, whatnot. We have links to all this on our website, therandomchristianshow.com. It'll be attached to the show. So when you click on the show, you can see all the links right there. And I've got a little scrolling down here for those of us watching, or if you're watching later on. The link is for his link tree right there, which will get you to all of these things and so much more. All the little band projects that you have going on, which I want to get into. Kenny, I want to run a commercial real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
And then we'll come back to you. So let me close out the chat. I thought we had some people that were trying to chat. Apparently not just yet. No. So let me close those out, and then we're gonna go do our commercial. We'll be right back. And Kenny, just hang tight for us, please.
You got it.
All right, thank you, sir. And now cue our sponsor. Where's our sponsor? There she is.
There you go.
Hey-o, do you like salsa? Are you tired of pretending you like what the mass-produced companies are giving you? Well, now you don't have to. That's right, Mrs. A's famous salsa buena is here to treat you right. They got 3 flavors like medium, hot, and salsa verde, all made with fresh, all-natural ingredients in a unique blended, authentic salsa with fresh cilantro and no onions. That's right, no more onion breath for you. It's the perfect complement to your favorite foods like burritos, steaks, flautas, nachos, enchiladas, chicken, and of course, chips. But there's so much more. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena has gone from a reward for her students now to the shelves in over 500 stores in California, and now it's expanded to Oregon, Nevada, Wyoming, and soon across the US of A. Amazingly fresh, all natural, authentic, and delicioso, Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena is near you. To find out where, go to www.mrsafamous.com, and you'll also get some great recipes, info, and so much more. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Reward yourself and eat buena.
All right, so apparently Kristian needed to run upstairs real quick. We're back. We're back here with Kenny Lee Lewis, guitarist, author, teacher. Now, so Kenny, I wanted to bring up your the show you got coming up in kids. So, are you guys on a full tour right now? Or are you just doing select cities?
We're doing select cities for April and May.
Mm-hmm.
And then in mid-June, we start doing our regular touring summer schedule that we do.
Yeah.
Go through the first part of July. And then the second week of July, we're taking another break. And I'm going to be up in Montana doing a bunch of gigs up there with my band Hucklebear, which is a band I do up there that is really fun. It has the bass player that was with the Steve Miller Band for 23 years and his sons, Billy and then the Peterson family. They're really talented, and we knock them dead up there up in Montana and have a great time. And then at the end of July, we're going to go to Texas, and we're going to run right into August with some more Midwest dates. And then we're going to take another short break. And at the end of August, we're going to head out to more like the West Coast, I guess.
Okay.
All through September, we'll be in a tour bus. We'll be touring all the way through the last week of September.
Okay.
And the meat of our touring will be June through September.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what it was like probably to be on a tour bus, back in the 80s and 90s. What's it like to do the tour bus thing now?
Well, I mean, the buses are much more sophisticated than they used to be.
Right.
You see these big, giant 45-foot Prevosts all the time. They're the big land yachts. And they have really great suspension, and the motors are real smooth. Transmission is real smooth. As long as the roads are not tore up,
right?
We get a pretty nice, smooth ride, and we can get a little sleep. But back east, where the roads are a little more, abused during winter and stuff, it can get pretty rough. And I have, because I'm the senior member of the band now, I get a back stateroom, which is given to me, which is very kind of everyone. But it's right over the rear axle. So when it's going like this all the time. So that's what I started doing a lot of my writing. This novel writing is that I can't sleep because I'm bouncing all the place. So I just put the laptop up on the table. I just sit up, just kind of write until we get to the hotel, wherever we're heading. And sometimes we don't get there till sunrise. So I might be typing from 2 a.m. till 6 a.m.
Wow.
Till I can finally get to the hotel. So that's kind of where I started doing a lot of my writing years ago, was in the back of the bus.
Yeah, and that's surprising too. Is that, I mean, I take sort of for granted that you essentially live on these buses for weeks at a time. And my brother's a stand-up comedian, and he opened up for Cher on her farewell tour back in the 90s, and he was on the bus with the backup band, right? And so I came to a show, I believe it was in Kansas City, where I got to ride from the venue to the hotel with the band. And when they got on the bus, like, you wouldn't think that they just played a show. Like, they had another performance going on of some other band. Like, all these guys I played with this guy, I would play with that guy back then. And it was just such a sort of relaxing, I felt I was visiting somebody's home. I did not feel like I was in a tour bus, driving somewhere.
It depends on how old the guys are. I mean, like in the Steve Miller Band, we're kind of up there in years now. So we've already over all the party and the drugs and the skirts and everything. So, we're watching, we're reading, we're doing stuff. Like I said, I'm typing novels in the back. Sometimes we'll have a pretty cool movie that somebody will bring on, and we'll all watch it together. Usually that's after the show, sort of bond and talk about the night. And, we usually have hot food, that's catered. And it's like, we try not to eat too much because, of course, it's the worst to eat. But you come off stage and you're just ravenous sometimes.
Yeah.
And, and we've got a bar, we've got a beer well. I mean, some people go out, and we pass the bong around or whatever.
Right.
Kind of like comes far and few between now. I mean, we're actually calling our wives, trying to get to bed early so we can do what we need to do in the morning. And, it's not that as exciting as it was in the old days when the bus was just a pirate ship of a bunch of scout bags, rolling down the highway, and it's like that has all kind of changed now. But, we have some fun sometimes.
Yeah. Now, and you said you told us before that this was the first time that you guys have gone out since COVID.
Well, we were out last year. We did 32 cities, but we didn't do anything on a bus. It was all fly dates, and it was kind of in and out all year long from, I think about the same period, May through September. But it wasn't as many dates as we're usually used to doing. This year, I think we're going to do closer to 50, which is more closer to what we were doing prior to COVID. Like I said, last year we did 32 dates.
Yeah.
We were glad to have it. It paid the bills.
Right.
But well, we waited really late to book too because Steve was really worried that Omicron was going to keep going, and it waited. So we lost a lot of the good weekend slots. So we were like playing Red Rocks on a Monday, even though we sold.
Oh, wow.
We were doing stuff like that, just so we could get out and play the good sheds.
Yeah.
But this year we're doing close to 50 dates, and we're booking some stuff in December right now. I can't tell you what it is because it's kind of not booked yet.
Okay.
We're gonna have some stuff then, so we're gonna be kind of working all the way up to Christmas. It'll be nice.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we last summer at the Oregon State Fair, the Beach Boys came out, and we got to see, and it was their, I guess it was their first tour since COVID, and they spent a good 10 minutes before playing any music just telling us how grateful they were to be back on stage.
No, it was tough, man. It was just like, the well-rounded ride.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I was doing my thing, with my YouTube channel and my blogs and my teaching and everything. I was just trying to reinvent myself because we couldn't go anywhere. I was stuck in here,
Yeah.
and well, now, where you're stuck at, not too bad of a place out in San Luis Obispo, man. I'm telling you.
Our house is really nice. My wife and I, we worked on it. My wife's a professional singer, songwriter, artist.
Oh, yeah.
Diane Steinberg. She was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds in the Sgt. Pepper movie with the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton in '78. And that had, some hits on it. So we actually made some money off her artist royalties from the soundtrack album, which went triple platinum, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she's written stuff for other people and had her own records and stuff. So she's in the business. So we've, between the two of us, the two incomes, we were able to get this nice place in San Luis Obispo, get out of LA. And this is probably a retirement home, at least until we're, not able to walk around anymore. We'll love it here. And we're blessed to have this place. And this place you're looking at is our recording studio and rehearsal studio.
Yeah. Well, now, and you both still perform even locally out there, correct? Because I know she sings a lot with, is it a group that you work with or separate?
Yeah, if you go to the links that I had you put up, if you go to barfliesmusic.com, that's the Z, there's a demo on there. You can see what we do together as husband and wife. There's also other bands that I do that have other links, but that one's called Barflies with a Z. So if you go to barfliesmusic.com with a Z, you can see what we do.
Beautiful. And now that's kind of is that a little rocky? Is it a jazzy soul?
Much of what we call cabaret pop. It's got, some R&B, it's got some jazz, it's got some pop tunes, it's got rock tunes, and sometimes we're playing with just upright bass and, acoustic, instruments. Ooh. So we do a little bit of everything in that band because we live in wine country up there. They kind of like exotic, eclectic, the blues jam bands and stuff. There's a million of those around. So we try to do something a little extra special for the wine country crowd up here. There's a lot of come through too. So, but we play for the wineries, we're in the tasting rooms and whatnot, and it's fun. I love it up here. We're in Central Coast, halfway between LA and San Francisco.
So yeah, you get the nice mix of everybody just passing through and whatnot, and yeah, and you've got some amazing wine countries up there. Been to a few of the old Central Coast wineries back in the day, and yes, good stuff out there. Good grape for sure.
You've ever seen the Giamatti movie Sideways? That's kind of we live in.
Yeah. No, so despite all evidence to the contrary in the early part of the show, I am a decent guitarist. I played in a band for 25 years, and for the last 5 years when I was in California, we had standing gigs at wineries for their big tasting days. And it was, I mean, it's a great gig for a band. It is a really good gig, and you get a really, sort of quaint but a very attentive audience to sort of what you're playing and what you're doing. And I always loved those gigs. And I mean, wine's expensive. It pays pretty good.
The thing about it is that it's art for art's sake up here. Whereas it was a lot of tribute acts and a lot of bars picking up people. And it was the old typical bar scene.
Yeah.
And the owners they're more interested in selling liquor than they are promoting art.
Yeah.
Here, the wine sells itself, and we just are providing art, and people listen, and they are attentive to that, which is really nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, so now you are you're out touring, you're writing your books, you're producing your videos, and you said you've got blog. Or did you? I couldn't help. I was trying to get logged back in, and I apologize for having to step out for a second. But did you say you had a podcast as well, or you've just been on other podcasts?
I've done a lot of interviews on my YouTube channel that people can watch with people like I had Jimmy Vivino, who of course was Conan O'Brien's guitar player for many years, and I did Dire Straits guitar player Jack Sonny. Yoakum's producer, Pete Anderson. I did, I even did Tim Pierce, who's one of the big YouTubers that does his master classes on YouTube. And, I interviewed a whole bunch of folks. So, you go on there, listen to interviews. There's also live streams that we did here as performances that we recorded. And then, like I said, I have teaching master classes that are free on there just to try to attract people into taking my, master classes that are actually, for sale.
Yeah, little wetting of the palate, and then hook them in. Now, when you're out on tour, are you doing any kind of little live streaming stuff while you're out cruising around? And I
get so busy when I'm out there. It just takes all my energy just to do the gig and just get to where we're going. I probably, if I would have gotten a really busy podcast type of a YouTube influencer type of a thing going, I probably would have kept that going. People like Lee Sklar and Tom Bukovac, and people, they are actually able to continue to do that because they have so many followers right now that for them not to do that, they'll lose followers. So they're making money, getting 30, 40, 50,000 hits on every video they put up, because they just have built their business during COVID so well. I never was able to get those numbers, so I wasn't able to get to that point where it becomes a daily job. But those guys, I mean, they work that stuff every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's a lot of work. So I try to just trying to promote this thing and promote this show every week. It's a lot of work. Yeah. So, and what would you? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay.
You're crying in your beer about trying to be a podcast.
Well, it's coffee, but yeah. Now, so what is next after all this touring and stuff? I mean, you just more books and what do you? I mean, you seem to have so much going on. I just can't imagine you doing much more.
Produce other acts, and particularly I've been producing acts that are in the Native American music realm. I have a band called Cody Blackbird. In fact, the band's name is now just Blackbird. If you want to look it up, you can look up Cody Blackbird too. They came to my house right here in the studio here, a couple years ago, and I recorded an album up in the Oakland with them that I mixed here and did mostly overdubs. And then I recorded one right here in this garage. And the one that we recorded right here in this garage won a NAMI recently, which is Native American.
Oh.
For that, and I have a female artist. Her name is Linda McKenzie, and we had a nomination in that same contest last year. We did a song called "Missing." If you look up Linda McKenzie "Missing" MISSING on YouTube, you can see the video and song that I produced, played all the instruments on, and it was nominated too. It didn't win, but it's a really great tune, and we're working on a new one now that's called Run Free. It's basically about Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce tribe out of Idaho. It was a very famous tribe during the Native American folklore of the Old West, and she wrote about that. I was just working on that just before I came on with you. I'm just getting finished with her vocals. We're going to nominate that. We're going to hopefully get an award for that. So then I'll have two, which is great. So I'm just kind of building up my reputation as a producer as well. And I can do stuff online with people. If they're interested in becoming producing, they can get in touch with me on my website, kennyleelewis.com, send me an email there, and then we can start a conversation, and we maybe could start doing something over the internet, trading files. But they don't have to necessarily come here, but eventually if they want to, they could, and we could work together on lead vocals. My wife's a really good producer too, especially with vocals and choral stuff, because she is a accompanist pianist for all the choirs and churches and stuff around here. And she's classically trained pianist and everything. So we're a pretty formidable team and produce them, trying to help them get ahead because, we've done pretty good. We got quite a few platinum records in the house.
Right.
Which is proof that we're not a bunch of slouches. So that's another thing that we offer is our production services here at Miramonte Studios. That's the name of this studio.
Nice.
Of course, we clean it up. It doesn't look anything like this when we're working, but right now it's a warehouse.
Yeah, right.
But I have a couple local bands I do here. I have one called Mini Nova, which is a Latin jazz band. The saxophone player's in the band called War, and we do that all over the Central Coast here. That's another band I do. Then there's this band, The Friends. In fact, you have the link for that. That's thefriends.com.
Oh, yeah.
We just did a big gig down at Dana Point Yacht Harbor for the yacht club down there, and that was a big success. And then I have another band that I do that's completely different. Well, Barflies you heard about. And then I have another band that's a Who's Who band that you also have a link of called Hang Dynasty. And that's with a lot of celebrity people that have worked with a lot of big name acts. We supply artists that played with Pink Floyd, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, Stevie Miller, Eurythmics, Rod Stewart, Etta James. I mean, all these people. And then I got Bill Champlin in that one from Sons of Champlin, who was in Chicago for many years. And I mean, there's so many big stars in that one. That's called hangdynasty.com. You can go to that site and see all the stuff. Edgar Winter was a part of that. He's he's right now, so we're not using him in this band, but because he's out with Ringo so much. But part of that. So that's a Who's Who band that we do. We do the songs of the big artists and the big groups that we are represented with actual members from those bands. So that's a fun one. So there's a lot of different bands that I do in addition to the few that I mentioned here locally. And, that's what I do in between. To answer your question, live performance, now that COVID is lifted, is really coming on strong because people want to get out and party. They're not in the house anymore. So I'm making good money doing live performances again.
Yeah. Now, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you about while you're out touring. Are people just filling these states? I mean, this is because everybody's like, oh my God, we can go out and do this again. I mean, it's got to be just such a great crowd when you get out there, man.
Yeah. I mean, Steve is an iconic catalog. I mean, on classic rock radio format, I mean, his stuff is playing right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, he's become kind of a national pastime in this country. So when you come to a Steve Miller show, you're really reliving a lot of milestones and parts of your livelihood in your life that you remember. Each song is sort of a signpost that points to some event in your life that happened at that time. And it brings back a lot of memories. It's pretty cool. Unless, of course, you're a millennial or something. But over 30 years old is going to remember The Joker and Fly Like an Eagle and Rockin' Me and Abracadabra, all those tunes. So we come and we provide a service. We actually are kind of like a tribute act because we are playing all these big hits as a service to the community. We just happen to have a lead singer named Steve Miller singing them.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I told you this, and you probably wouldn't remember from last time, but the Steve Miller Band was my first live concert at the Concord Pavilion in 1991, I believe.
That's great.
Yeah. So it was you guys headlined the show, and I mean I'd already known all the songs just from hearing them, but it was the first live show that I ever went to. So
Yep. So we're real lucky to have what we call a heritage act. Yeah. And the heritage act, to answer your question, is filling sheds, and we are still selling out. So the crowds are showing up and they're paying whatever they got to pay the promoter's asking for. They're showing up and they're happy to be there. So we're supplying that American pastime. It's like baseball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. In fact, I think the Kansas City show, like I said, we're just trying to confirm if we can make sure we can get these days off. But I think it's almost sold out. And so we're actually, we have a friend who has a connection, and so hopefully we're going with tickets through them. But yeah, it's I know it's getting real close because I looked on the website the other day just to find some seats, and I was like, oh crap, and so that's when we reached out to them, and they're like, yeah, we'll get you hooked up, don't worry about it. So but yeah, so no, it's and you're out with a great band, a supporting band, Cheap Trick. Yeah, that's got to be a lot of fun. How is it hanging with those guys? Are they just as fun as they seem like?
Rick's son is now the drummer. In fact, he and my wife are pretty good friends. When we got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they got inducted the same night. So we were hanging with them on the tables, eating the rubber chicken and getting their trophies,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was really fun, and they're really, really good guys. They've been around a long time, and they're a heritage act too. They've been around forever.
Oh, absolutely. And the great thing is, like you said, I mean, your music, it comes from the 70s, but it goes into the 80s very deeply. Especially with Abracadabra. I mean,
our last,
which, my daughters love Abracadabra. They love The Joker. What else we listened to, and they're like, well, this is good.
I mean, Fly Like an Eagle is ever stuck with Space Jam now.
Yep.
So whenever that movie comes on, I mean, my son's humming it too, and it's just it's amazing that those songs just have that recognition.
Yeah. Well, and great. I remember when I was playing in bands, we loved Fly Like an Eagle because it was a great jam song.
Yeah.
Just, oh my gosh, me and the bassist would just break down.
Yeah. Yep.
I loved playing the hi-hat work off the okay, I'm not going to go there. But it's just it's just a lot of fun. And I mean, how you just got to have so much fun playing all this music all the time, man. I mean, I know it's work, and I'm not trying to downplay that at all, because it's a lot of effort to be out there and make that sound so good like you guys do every night. I mean, has there ever been like a night where you're just like, just so much tonight,
Not really. I mean, there might be some spots where, we might be doing like a real remote festival. It's a cornfield, and we're, headlining, and everybody's been there for hours hearing tons of bands, and they're all really drunk. And, sometimes, we get the feeling that the energy of the audience is just completely spent, and we're not getting that energy back. Then, we're just kind of going through the motions.
Right.
But it's anybody's fault. It's just the nature of the venue and the gig.
Yeah.
So, nobody gets upset over it. We just kind of get through it and get on the bus and head into the next town. very rarely does that happen. It's pretty much work all the way up until downbeat of the actual set. Once you count out that first song for the performance, 2 hours or whatever we're doing, or hour and a half, that's not work anymore. Now it's fun. Because if, like I say, if the audience energy is there and we're feeding off of that, then it's mutual. We're giving, they're giving, and we're interchanging this energy. It's kind of like a ball like a medicine ball. We throw it, they throw it back, we throw it back. It's like a medicine ball. We just pass it around,
Right.
Kind of balls, that you do in the summer outdoor events,
Yeah.
Everybody passes those up on stage too. We throw those back, Everybody is taking the energy, multiplying it, giving it back, dissipating it, bringing it back in. So that's really fun. So that part is fun. It's just everything leading up to that moment, and then everything after that is work.
Right. Oh yeah.
Now I was, you told us about all the bands that you're working with, and Huckleberry up in Montana, and Steve Miller Band, of course, and then all these ones that you're producing. And I was going to ask that if you had a sort of favorite, genre to play, like if you had a favorite band to play with. I know that's like asking which kid is your favorite, right? You can't necessarily answer that question, but I think you just did that. As long as you're playing and on stage, as long as you're getting, that response from the audience and that energy from the audience, I mean, you could be playing anything. And as long as that response is coming back, that's feeding the soul.
Yep.
Sort of what you need. So
yep, I play classic rock with the Friends, FRENDmusic.com if you want to see that. That's all classic rock, but it's fun. We do Jessica by the Allman Brothers. I'm doing Hendrix. I'm doing Queen. Get all this great tone on my guitar. Ooh. I mean, what's love, But then I'll turn around and I'll play with my band Mini Nova, which is Latin jazz, and we're doing like war tunes. We're doing, Manteca by Dizzy Gillespie and Chano Pozo. We're doing,
oh my gosh,
all tunes. We're doing Pancho Sanchez tunes. I mean, we're doing all kinds of, Santana. We're doing different flavor in that band, but it gets just the same response and everybody's dancing. So it doesn't really matter as long as we have the interchange. Right. I don't care what genre it is. The only thing I don't do is just country music.
No, you don't. You just don't.
Country band. I did play with Jimmy Rogers. Was one of my first gigs I did. Went to Vegas with him. I played, pretty much a lot of country with him.
Yeah.
But he's more like rockabilly country,
Right.
Honey, oh, won't you be my baby, honey? Go. It was more like rockabilly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, real slow with the steel guitar and it's crying in your beer. It was a little more energetic,
Right.
And, I just never, ever gravitated towards that. I was asked to move to Nashville many, many years ago. They said I would have been great there because of the way I produced and my guitar playing and my vocal stacks. And I just went, you know what? You guys go ahead and do it. I'm fine here on the West. You did such a great job,
Yeah.
And, because that was during the time when everything was turning into the Eagles. They wanted to away from George Strait and George Jones, and they wanted the Eagles, So I said, well, we've already had that. I mean, it came from where I'm from. So come on to us if you want to have that music. That's on the West Coast, But Nashville kind of became the Eagles,
Yeah.
Man. Oh, wow. That's, gosh, that is so. And all these people that you played, I mean, you were just going through a laundry list of people. That's just who has been the most. I'll throw a couple things. Who's been the most creative and fun to work with?
Well, I mean, obviously working with Steve has been pretty amazing, but beyond him, gosh, the bands that I have, man, are pretty fun, man. I mean, I haven't really toured with a lot of other big name people because Steve's already always provided work,
Yeah.
So, but we've had other opening acts that we sit in with, or they sit in with us. And for like the 2 years we did with Peter Frampton was great. He's a great player. He's there with us, and his band were all friends of mine. That was really fun. And Journey, Santana, all a Tower of Power, and they opened for us. I grew up in high school senior ball for crying out. In the Bay Area. And it's like, these bands are just so iconic and so much fun to hang out with, be friends with. In the studio, and years ago, some of the fun records I did were like Billy Preston. I did some stuff with Billy Burnett before he joined Fleetwood Mac. Dwight Twilley. I was doing. I did a BB King track. I did, stuff for big name artists like Dusty Springfield, Melissa Manchester, Denise Williams. I mean, I was doing demos with a lot of these people. So all these artists that I've played with. If you look up my credits on my website, kennyleelewis.com, all these people I've had a moment with, either on stage or in the studio. And all my icons and all my idols, with the exception of the Stones, maybe Zeppelin, even Clapton, I barely missed meeting at Guitar Center when I was working there years ago. Some of the English Invasion guys I have not hung with,
Yeah.
The only people I never had access to. But all the American acts I've met. Every single one of them, I've worked with them or been on a bill with them or something. And just, it's just wonderful to have been a fan of the rock pile as a child, adolescent, coming up and then getting to meet them and work with them all was amazing. So to answer your question, I can't pick one in particular. I would say, for an album, the Billy Preston album was amazing. He's the fifth Beatle, amazing, working with him. I some of the Native American stuff I've done up in Canada has been amazing. We did called Rumble, which was based on the movie. If you recall, there was a movie called Rumble. There was a documentary about, the guy that played that song Rumble. Oh God, what's his name? Link Ray. And he was a Native American, gentleman. And what we did is we did a live version of the documentary film, showed the film in the theater while we played live, and we would have interpretations of all these different artists, that were
neat.
Charlie Patton, Redbone. I mean, everybody that's been, Robbie Robertson from the band. I mean, every one of these people that are Native Americans towards the rock and roll. And the basic pentatonic scale, the beat, everything about the blues, it all came from Native American background. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So that was very rewarding. And one of my favorite concert tours that I did up in Canada called Rumble. You can Google that.
Okay. No, and I'm also very intrigued about this whole native. Now, do you have a Native American background at all, or?
Yes, I have very trace Mohawk roots on my mother's side.
Okay.
Did do DNA. My sister showed markers, but my brother and I did not. So it's about way back there. But my mother kept this legend going in our family for years, and we met other people that we never met before that had the same story, that were distant cousins that we met through Ancestry.com.
Oh, wow.
Same story of being related to this guy, Joseph Brandt, whose name was Thandanasia. He was like a kind of a negotiator Mohawk dude that fought against America with the British during the Revolutionary War. And he's a real character. And George Washington, of course, wanted to kill his ass. So he chased him up into Canada after the Revolutionary War, and that's where they started what is called the Six Nations Reserve. It's in Ontario, Canada. You can Google that. And I go up and I hang with those people, and they feel my spirit. I mean, they go, yeah, don't worry about the blood quantum, because, being Native American is not a blood quantum. It's a state of mind. And you have, kind of like Dances with Wolves, I guess, use that as an example. But they've accepted me, and I go up there and I do sweats and I hang with them and we do events. And this Rumble thing was all part of that. And it's based around Niagara. In fact, we're going to be playing Niagara this year in July, and I'll probably have all those folks backstage.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
And it's just fantastic, and we just have a wonderful time. But yeah, I do have trace Native American roots, and it burns. I mean, that one little drop I totally relate to, because, I was outdoorsy, as a teen. I was in Boy Scouts and the YMCA, and I was, into the mountains and backpacking and nature. And I've always been a fisherman and a hunter. And, so I've always had an affinity towards Mother Nature, if you will. And so it's very easy for me to fall into that mindset and that state of mind, as they call it.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, I have 3 different tribes of Indian in my bloodline. Sioux, Creek, and Iroquois. And it's my mom is very
is the Haudenosaunee, which is the people of the Longhouse, and that's what your Iroquois background has.
Yeah. No, my mom is very active with Indian communities, and it's really cool to see some of the stuff that she goes and does and things like that, and she participates in some of the tribal events and whatnot. Not participates, but she goes and hangs out with them and stuff. So it's really cool. So no, I found that's yeah, it is. It's very yeah, like you said, you don't even need to be blood. It's up here, and it's an amazing mindset to hang out with these people and to get to know them. It's great comforting thing, and I wish more people would be able to do it, because they are caretakers of the land, as we like to say.
Too. Once I did this with the Mohawk, when I went down to the Yucatan several years ago, I was hanging with the Maya, and we were doing Temazcal, we were doing the Otak together. I mean, I just immediately just cued right into it. And, even though there was a language barrier a little bit, I understood them completely just from my North American Native experience. It was very easy to just fall right in with the Mayan. It was great.
Oh, that's so
cool. Oh, wow. That is awesome. And and now you alluded to this, you're fly fishing. I know I follow you on Facebook. Did you?
I'm trying to sell sex, fish, and rock and roll.
Now, do you get a chance to do a lot of that while you're out on tour?
Absolutely, I got a pack rod every time I'm out.
Nice.
Concrete body water. I'm down catching fish in the morning and in the evening, and sometimes even at the venue. Like, for instance, we're playing Jones Beach again this year on Long Island, and the back of the stage at Jones Beach on Wonton backs right up against the bay, and so you can literally walk off the back of the stage.
Oh, wow.
Bluefish as the tide is coming in right off the back of the stage.
Oh, hey, we're on in 15. I've hooked something. Hang on.
Is there one spot that you fly fish when you were out on tour that it's just been like magical, that has just been the spot?
There's two places that come to mind. I mean, Red Rocks is one, because Morrison Creek is at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Walk down from the venue and you got trout fishing right there. And then another one is the gorge in Columbia River Gorge.
Yeah.
The Columbia, and you can fly fish right there.
Wow.
The sound check, just come back up when it's time to play. Yes, when the opening act is going.
Right.
Come up in your waders. You're like, I'm ready. Oh my gosh. All right, Kenny, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I know you've got a lot going on, man. Hey, Steve Miller Band out on tour right now, wherever they're at. Find out when they're coming to your town. Get some tickets. Coming to Kansas City here May 10th with Cheap Trick. Very, very excited. Again, I'm hoping to meet you. I'll keep in contact with you.
Like I said, we'll meet in the venue somewhere, and we'll have a little powwow. And I'll probably have some other guests too.
Absolutely. And where's my little scroll here? I've got you going. You can go to his link tree on our website. We've got all your links right there for your book sale on Amazon, your CD, your YouTube channel. Oh my God, we've got them all. They're right there. Go to therandomchristianshow.com. Click on the link for the show. Kenny Lee Lewis, man, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us. Get back to taking care of your house so you can get back out on tour, and I hope to see you out here soon, buddy. Really appreciate you, brother.
Thanks a lot,
Kenny.
All right, Kenny, thank you so much, my man. Oh my gosh, he's so awesome.
He's the best. Yeah.
Oh wow. So dude, I really hope she can get the night off.
Yeah,
I've already.
I mean, call in sick. Do what you got to do. Get those tickets. I know she's got a new job, but you can for a night.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like, yeah, it's your birthday.
Right.
So we're gonna see. Again. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm really bummed out I don't have my stupid music.
It's okay. Easy. We moved to a new house. This happens, but no, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Wow, dude, he has so much going on.
Yeah, I just Oh, okay, that's good. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Don't say that. Don't say that out loud, but
no, I won't.
no, okay. So I mean it's so great how diversified he is that it's not just, you know, he's not just the guitarist for the Steve Miller Band. Is that he's producing, he's teaching, he's you know, he's not just playing classic rock. He's playing all these other things, and I mean, like you know, a diversified portfolio for sure for what he does. And I think I remember saying this last time he was on, but you really get the feeling. I mean, you know, just from how he talks, that he loves this.
Oh,
and
dude,
he's just, it's incredible. Sorry, we're getting some private chats from the man right here, and he dropped quite the bomb on us. Quite the bomb right there.
Kenny is basically in podcast uniform.
Yeah, right.
All he basically just said in the green room notes there.
Yeah, but I mean, and just from geeking out, being and I feel funny classifying myself as a musician, talking to somebody like this, right? But you know, like I'm stoked to read the sci-fi novel,
dude. I know
that sci-fi novel, like such a cool premise. And the fact that it's based off of like, you know, 95%
actual events and things. Yeah.
I'm so stoked to check that out.
I'm more interested in the sex fish, and
well, yeah, no, that's
not that they're having sex with fish.
No, right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
dig yourself out of that hole.
I'm not gonna. It's not gonna happen. Google Twin Speak. Yeah. No, I've heard about the Twin Speak too, Kenny.
Yeah.
The sexy fish though. No. Anyway, no. Really, you guys got to let's pump up this book, guys, because I am very intrigued. I think I'm gonna go get it on my not the where it's on the computer. Yeah, the tablet. E-book. Thank you.
Welcome.
Wow. Yeah, I got a book. I do lots of reading stuff. No, I'm very intrigued. Because I have heard about the Twin Speak thing. I had some friends back in the day that were twins, and they always joked about it, but we always knew something was going on with that.
Well, there were twins in my hall at UC Santa Barbara that they said that they had a sort of an unspoken, you know.
Are you sure it was twins, or were you just a little?
No, they were twins.
You just weren't seeing double.
They looked very similar. All right.
Telepathy, yes.
But it was. I mean, I didn't want to say telepathy, Kenny, but it was. They could finish each other's sentences. They could. You know, they had
know what each other was saying.
They had that sort of electricity between each other if they weren't in the same room to sort of feel like what was going on, you know.
Yeah. No, it is. And when you're around it, it's like there's an eeriness about it. You're just like, oh, okay, you guys are weirding me out.
Yeah, but it's such an interesting dynamic because and twins happen quite a bit, you know. I mean, it's not that it's common, but there are so many twins out there that you feel that we should know everything about them. But no, it's just weird to see carbon copies of people standing next to each other, but look same, but be so different, you know.
And they're looking at each other going, just giving each other nods or shaking their head, and you're just like, okay, stop talking to each other through your brains, man.
Yeah,
freaking me out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Okay. Again, Kenny Lee Lewis. All the links are on the website for associated with the show. So just go to therandomchristianshow.com or go to Kenny Lee Lewis. What is it? Just .com.
Yeah,
right?
KennyLeeLewis.com. We'll have all of
and he's got all that there. He's got a link tree. He's got his YouTube channel. You can find his book on Amazon. Google the guy. Okay, Kenny Lee Lewis. There's so much there he's got going on, and dude, that masterclass, that just sounds so freaking cool.
I watched. So you sent me the link this morning. I watched about 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna spend the time and learn the song.
I'm hooked.
Well, because I mean, since moving to Oregon, that's one of the things that I miss is playing music. I mean, you heard it. I'm really out of practice.
Oh, dude.
And so that's one of the things I wanted to get into was recording and recording my stuff and actually trying to put a song together and just spending the 5 minutes that I got in that interview. I'm just like, holy crap, I think I can do this. Yeah.
No, it's I think, and somebody that talented there's such a wealth of information from that guy. So very excited to be checking that out. So anyway, KennyLeeLewis.com, go check him out. They out on tour with the Steve Miller Band. And again, here in Kansas City, Missouri, they will be here May 10th with Cheap Trick at the Starlight Theater, which is an outdoor venue. I've heard just amazing things about this place, so very excited. I'm really crossing my fingers we get to go do this.
You better get tickets, man.
And that's really gonna wrap it. We don't have Tommy this week. He's in the process of rearranging his locations, and so we will have Tommy back next week with sports. But for us, it's just us. We're hanging out. We're going to be with you, and we're so glad you guys could be a part of this. Again, we want to say thank you to all the people, the Good Wives Network, which we're going to start having some of these people. We're going to interview some of the people that are on the show or on the network, and we're going to have little clips with them and all that. So make sure you check that out. Coming up here soon. We want to thank Mrs. A's Famous Salsa and all our fabulous friends, the Dead Campers that you're hearing right here. You'll hear on our outro. Go check them out. They've got all sorts of new music dropping all the time. Great fun. If you're in the Santa Cruz area, find out where they're playing. I try and put links on the page when they are letting us know what's going on. So in the meantime, next week we've got oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
The graphics. Yeah, graphics there.
Yeah, it's here somewhere. There he is.
It is.
Matthew. Oh,
I put it up. You took it down.
I took it down. Matthew Sharp next week. Elvis impersonator. Gonna have a good time with him, Mama Baby. Hey, kids, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. Be good to each other. Take care of each other. We will see you next week.